So anyway, well, Sarah's kind of all over the place. Oops, let's straighten it up a little bit here. Right. But anyway, so it seems like I'd said before, though, the rich is trying to stay rich, right? And keeping the poor, even if they make a little bit more, down, right? I mean, what's wrong with you, right? Now, why do they say a dragon hoards gold, right? When you gotta mine the gold, right? I don't know. And if you don't mine the gold, you don't even know there's any gold, right? If you find any, it's by chance or happenstance, right? And then just go, all kind of crazy. It's, I know. You do realize any monetary system you come up with, even the mark of the beast, is to control people, right? Whatever you're doing there, you're just trying to control people, so they report to you what they're buying and selling, so you know what they're up to. But that's why people who do it just are too many, right? At a certain point, right, where no one can stop them anymore once you get to that level, right, of people wanting to do it or not caring, right? For the Christians or other people who don't want to do it, that's how it happens, right? Anything, like I told you, can be used for good or evil, but the people who want to do it are the problem over the people who don't want to do it, right? Especially if they become the majority, right? That's how power switches from one form of government to the other one anyway, and see if they're more wanting to market the beast, right? And less, right? Who's going to win? The ones wanting it more, right? Even though in America we're trying to say we're free, we're this, we're that, but money bites us, right? So we're at that level where 1 minute we won't, and the next minute we don't. Know what to do. We can't really do much of that, right? So like I told you, what am I doing wrong? Trying to eat out because my butt hurts and I don't want to fix something to eat, and it's easier to drive up to the damn, right, and come back. I still sit, you mean, right, in the car, and I gotta walk to the car. What's the difference, right? Well, the food's ready when you get to the restaurant. Exactly. Damn it. What part of that don't you understand, right? But do you want to eat these freaking microwave meals at $3 or $4 a pop? No. Only people could barely afford anything by them. But if you give me the money, I'll go out every day. I get right, right? But the money ain't gonna magically pop into my bank account either, right? Though we're getting a little raise, I might get another little bit of money, right? Maybe 90, whatever, right? Here or there, but even that's to cover another bill, right? I had to get another credit card, so that's to cover that bill, right? So again, right, everything I do, there's an equal and opposite counter, right? Even if I seem to get a little ahead, I'm still a little behind, right? I might actually get $50 I can spend from that $90, and that's a bump, right? So if I get another $50 to spend, and you gotta buy things, like, in case you need them. You don't know what you need or don't need in the future. Unless you want me to die tomorrow, or today, or tonight. Right. And then what? Are you trying to kill me, or right? Literally, or am I just making this stuff up? Right? And if the real God's helping me out, you would know by now, but I don't know by now, right? Kind of the point, too, right? Now, we can only reason things out, or we can all act crazy, but that's the problem, right? Whoever I'm dealing with here. Now, anger, right? Rock or whoever, right? Don't change what really happened or not, right? Now, there ain't much a person can do, like I told you, if they're not prepared for something and just dealing with it on the spur, right? If someone's writing you about it before you even met me, that person is a problem. I don't even know what they would say to you about me to get you so mad about it, right? But they know what to say to make you mad about whoever it was, right? So, what does that mean? What does that mean? One, okay, if I did something wrong, there's a chain of command you gotta go through, right? It's called going to the police first. Once I leave someone, right, and go back to base, can I interfere with any more interactions? No. And the wife has no excuse not to go to the police. Unless she's doing something wrong and don't trust them. See? Only, if you're riding dirty, do you worry about the police yourself, right? And if I'm on the base for 2 weeks before I get into the accident about losing my key, right? Okay, like the medication turning up missing or not, right? You can't prove, okay, who took the medication even if you're not in the house, right? But even if they return it, they took it because you're looking for it until you do, right? And if you find it where you already looked, someone was in the house, but not who, right? And of course, if you catch them or not, that don't prove it, and it could be even the camera companies themselves. That's called extortion, right? It's the same thing the triad does to get money from, right, people. I know. For protection. from them. Right? Like Stallone's doing now with his little thing, right? His new show, right? He's a mob character going to some town in Midwestern America and, bringing the mob mentality there. I guess. Mm-hmm. Right. But the mob is also Italian, ain't it? Right, Sal? Well, see, if you don't say nothing, then you didn't coach her, and I know I didn't coach her. Only one who could have coached her that night was Daphne. But I don't know. Either, right? See, if Daphne told her to go in there and she do whatever I want to do with her, that's crazy, ain't it? Right? She can't tell her daughter that. Not that I would do that with her if she did, right? I don't know why she's in there. Like I said, I know the 4 reasons why a child will wake you up, but 2 of them are automatic, right? Eat or drink is kind of obvious. Pee, right? And a bath are the only other 2, right? You would think, right? Anybody, right? You know what I mean? Like going down lists, right? Since I help with Renee, I know she needs changing sometimes. She needs a bath sometimes. And she needs, of course, food or something to drink. Even when you're watching her, you get her a little Kool-Aid or tea or right. And when she asks for it, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think I'm talking about? I helped raise her in a way, and not that I didn't make some mistakes, especially doing my karate outside, but I told you that story too, right? You can't change what happened, just you gotta tell your parents when you get home and deal with it, right? Well, like I said, if your daughter wakes me up, or anybody's daughter wakes me up, I'm gonna tell the mom, right? She's the only one I can't tell. She's the only one there, right? You can't let that slide either. It's on you too, right? If something happened, right, she could have dealt with it then. Unless she's doing something worse, which is entrapment, right? Which means she's hiding something between her and her family, and I don't know what it is, but it could be another form of sexual molestation between her and her dad. I don't know, right? I can't prove it, right? You can't prove why the wife's behaving the way she is, but she's not liking her situation, right? And she's trying to get out of it as fast as she can, right? That's why she left me trying to do this in the first place, right? That too. I do know that too, right? Something, she didn't want to do all that. She didn't want me to meet her parents, right? She was so pissed off with them, not me. Because I'm just trying to get there and back, right? Reach the bottom time, right? And whatever's making her mad, I'm just the brunt, right? I'm just the one to get the brunt of the anger, right? Because she can do something to someone she don't love. She can't do that to her parents, right? For having to marry me. It's psychology 101, right? Why did someone leave someone stranded and acting mad at him when he don't even hardly know her that well, but less than 6 months, right? She's mad at her whole situation. She had to marry this jerk. He's speeding through the mountains. I'm pregnant, right? But that's venting, right? But not venting too, because I don't even know what the problem is. I'm just trying to get there as a kid in 19 hours or less, right? See, she's thinking what? Minute to minute, right? And she was never happy in the situation, right? Even if we try to manage our trial with the tarot card girl, that's the point, right? She's trying to find fault, but I'm trying to work with her because I don't know. Some women are into different things. If you look at the Bible, like I said, even the sibling rivalry between sisters is talked about both in the law and in real life. Now, like I told you about Tia and Tamara, right? I don't even know if they're twins or not, but like I said, one would have to be wearing darker makeup or something, and one has a mole on her face and chest that I would recognize either one if they were to try to be with me, right? But I don't think they would do that to one another either unless they're just that controlling, right? They're really competing for the love of a stranger who's just trying to find a wife, and they like what I'm saying, maybe, right? But, you can't choose between two beautiful women, right? So, like Leah and Rachel, they're testing me, but if I know who's whom every time, I'm telling them why. Well, that's simple. You're not 100% exactly the same. Tamara's melanoma and Tia's is a little different, right? She looks a little darker and Tamara looks a little lighter in skin pigments, especially with her mole and her on her body in two different locations, and Tia don't have any, right, marks or moles on her body, right? Now, if Tia's the firstborn or Tamara, I don't know if that has something to do with it either. I know, but right. See, one's in the womb a little bit longer, right? And one's exposed to the light first, right? You understand? Right. Oh. Like Jacob and Esau, right? Jacob's hand came out. Esau's hand came out first, but then he went back in and then Jacob came out, right? Kind of strange, huh? Right? Well, one, luckily it wasn't a breach for us either, right? You do, right? I've seen that on the House of Freaking Dragons. That was sick. Not the idea itself, but the idea itself, you know what I mean? Right? And anyway, you know the story if you watch it, if you eat. It's up to you, right? Of course, with Dish, I see it all. But like I told you, right? No. When you're sitting in pain, right, minor or major, you don't want to get up and fix yourself some food. You don't feel well. But if you ride down to somewhere where the stuff is ready, right, you can get it and leave, right? Even if they gotta prepare it, which is you obviously not doing your job. No. But either way, I'm hurting either way, right? With very little movement, right? So I have the option to put it in the microwave. Would you eat it? Right. Would you eat it? Or would you want to go out to eat, right? I'm talking to the higher ups too. What would you want to do, right? See, you're not putting yourself in my shoes. You're wanting me to do something you don't even want to do, like I told you before, right? And eat the meals kind of higher in fat and salt anyway, right? Than the cooked meals at, say, the Western Citizen or the China buffet or something, right? Or Chinatown buffet, right? where, they cook the food every day pretty much similarly, and it's right there ready to eat, right? Then you're eating out, right? Even doing a buffet once a day and then something lighter, right? Still requires, right, more money than you want to give people too, right? No. See, and you're controlling the money, Congress. You vote on the money, right, that people get. If we don't get the money, we can't buy the stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So what we're forced to do sometimes is buy the cheaper stuff. Even you wouldn't want to eat it. Would you? No. This is called getting a little bit real with you, right? Now, I don't even have a wife to cook for me. And like I said, I don't mind cooking for her a little bit either if I'm home alone, right? All day, and I can cook for two better than one, right? You know what I mean? That's why you gotta either buy microwave baby meals or soups, right? Or something, right? That's easy to fix. I know. But, alright, here's the status. If you got a little bit of money, say less than $60, right? So you got till the end of the month, which is the 30th, right? Mm-hmm. Technically before payday, right? So that's not a lot of money. You want to see a few movies this weekend because it's Christmas weekend, right? I think some come out on the 23rd and the 25th, right? And then next week don't really matter, but you want to see something rather than stay in the house all day too and watch the same old stuff you done seen. Even if the movies are similar, you done figured out the plot. You don't even know you're figuring out the plot. You see the movie, right? Like I said, right? Even like with the white gorilla. I was talking about a regular white gorilla that I heard of growing up. And if The Rock was doing the Rampage movie then, right? I didn't know, right? Seriously, but coincidentally, what I'm talking about, if there is a white gorilla, that's a recessive gene in the gorilla gene pool, right? So if we're dominant, white or black, right? One's a recessive gene, the white gene, and the dominant gene is the white gene. But we're both from the same parents, right? Who had both genes, right? Same with the gorilla, if it goes white, right? That's a rare gene, but if it's in one of the gorillas, it was always in that gorilla, right? And then the female had it too for it to be white, right? That's what they tell you about that kind of albinism, right? And they say even Noah could have been an albino, right? Well, Noah is kind of, again, a feminine name in the Hebrew. Mm-hmm. He's called Gilgamesh, whatever you want to call him, right? In other tales, right? But one man was saved by the gods, right? That's the same premise, right? And even in India, they're talking about having to build a bridge, right? Because of the flood, right? Shortly thereafter, right? Around the same time. Mm-hmm. But even that bridge was, again, affected by the flood, right? It's now underwater, right? Durr. It's kind of proof, right? If it hit as far as India, right? And those are major continents talking about the same flood, right? And China too, and America too, right? It's a worldwide flood. But see, you don't want to believe it. You weren't there, though, right? But if they're all talking about it, they were there. You can't all talk about the same thing if it only affected one small region, right? Even if it was the Black Sea state that flooded, right? But a worldwide flood would also get a worldwide response to everybody saying, oh, there was a flood. Oh, there was a flood. Yes, there was a flood. We had a flood. We had a flood. Did you have a flood? We had a flood too. Right. There you go. It'll be a worldwide thing. Everybody talk about. There is, right? But you gotta research it. The scientific method, though, right? You gotta what? Start your theory. They say there was a 10,000 years ago, right? Well, if there was a worldwide flood, everybody would be talking about it. They are. So you're wrong, scientists. There was a worldwide flood even Moses talked about it. Though I think he put his own spin on the story too. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, right? I don't know if we started out as vegetarians either or not. That's another thing, right? Do we eat meat back then or do we eat vegetables only, right? We don't know. We don't know. But I guess, I don't know. If God is benevolent, he said he don't want us murdering creatures, and that's why it meant plant life, I guess, for us to eat, right? But that's still a theory of Moses' too, right? We don't know, really. But it seems we like plants and animals to eat, right? But is that the knowledge of good and evil, or is that, right, just eat what's around you, right? Now, of course, if you're naming the animals, they got to be sort of tame around you, but then they started fearing us too, right? Does that mean they don't want to be eaten, right? Now, here's the thing, though, like I'm saying, right? Can you, again, resurrect an animal like men, right? Not now, apparently, right? True. But if they don't, get condemning either, right? Could they heal and raise too? Probably, right? Why did Jesus come? To show us some things we're missing, right? If I bid you to a feast, he said, and you don't come and you make excuses to not come to the feast, right? That's your fault, right? Okay, I'm bidding you to a feast. I'm not saying you can't go get your wife or you can't do your work later on, can't you? Right? You're making excuses to not get right to the feast, right? And so what? Right? You don't go. You don't go. But what are you saying, right? See, only someone fighting themselves would fight me, right? They don't want to change what happened in their own mind, right? Even if they were wrong, right, in doing what they did, right? That's trying to villainize not only myself, but them, and deny they're the villain too, right? And when you're the villain, you're going to attack everybody, and you can't, right? To try and get over on the hero or the good guy who wouldn't touch the little girl, except to make sure she didn't pee or something, and then that's within limits, right? But that's the problem. If your child has to pee, right, and you're in the living room anyway, you got to take off her underwear, certain things. You don't take off the t-shirt, but at least the underwear, right? Because you're not sure why she's in there. So, like I said, the list is eat, drink, which children usually ask for something to eat or drink right off the bat, right? Do you? Do you? One, a child who wakes you up must need something to wake you up, yes. They also cannot be able to wake up the other parent. Why? They're either asleep or, oh wait, one means coaching, right? Telling the child what to do. The other means she just wandered in there because she couldn't wake up the mom and needed some kind of assistance or something, right? Those are the only two ways the child can wake you up that night, right? And you know it's true because there's no third option, right? So if you're fully on the couch, the child has to also fully go over there to you. Once the mom can't see her anymore either, if she uses something, say the camera's already set up anyway, to try and see around the corner into the living room, that can also be viewed by the person with the child. There's only one foolproof way called a hidden camera. But at the same time, that's her setting who up? You, me. But see, I'm still not sure what's going on. But I do know what the limits of what I can do from what I can't do are. Even before the little girl wakes me up. Mm-hmm. Or not. And see, that's the point, too. If you got amnesia, that's how you got to tell the story, too, right? So since the wreck and the fall, I have 2 cases of amnesia, too, right? So what are we doing now, right? You hate the truth of the story. I have to tell it because I'm involved with it, too, right? See, I can't let you charge me with the crime I did not commit, right? Even if I can't prove it to the world, right? Right now, right? And I know they're going to hate on me whether I can prove it or not, right? That's the problem, right? But can a mentally ill person get better or not? The doctors say no, with medications. But that depends on how they went disabled, right? If they're aware of when they started to hear voices and they didn't always hear voices, or you could tell by the behavior, right? They didn't always hear voices, right? If Dr. Weinrep gave me a full medical clearance, right, psychologically speaking, right, and talked to a psychiatrist as well, though if I did something inappropriately with the information, I'm apologizing for that, Dr. Weinrep. I'm not trying to. I'm also a naive person, right, who doesn't know how to deal with all this all at once either. Right? I'm naive, right? I don't think the daughter's in there with me for a legitimate reason. If I don't see the mom, I don't think she's asleep, right? Is that wrong? No. And then, that's weird, after that, you're going to wonder, was the mom awake or not? And then you're going to bring her back to who? Or her. Does it sound logical, or does what the mother's saying, I know he molested my child, I know she went in there too, Well, you let her go in there to him, and he was mentally ill and asleep on the couch, right? And that's what most people would say. What do you expect to happen, right? Not to say, that I did it or not either, but that the mom should have known, well, what's going on? How did she get in there? But you're hiding something, right? Is what they mean, right? You seem to think it's okay for her to wake him up at all, right? And him not bring her back to you or something, right? As soon as she was in there or something, right? Well, that's not why he's there. He's there because he's your husband, right? He's got to learn to interact with the girl too, right? I know. Just like the stepmom has to as well. Right. So does the stepdad, right? And I'm not on a tangent, right? I'm asleep on the couch, right? So we're talking bedroom to couch. Then why is she in the living room, right? To pee or something? Right. In the bathroom. So she's got to walk to the bathroom from the living room if she's in there with me in the living room. I'm not thinking like, okay, well, I should walk her to the bathroom or and take over anywhere in there, right? At the time, probably either.